Long ago, in the lush green heart of western Nigeria, lay a peaceful village named Ayatoro, a place cradled between the mighty Ogun River and a deep ancient forest where sunlight barely touched the earth. The people of Ayatoro were proud and hardworking, their laughter echoing from the sprawling yam farms to the busy marketplace. In this village lived a maiden named Abini, a name that means, "We asked for her, and she came." Abini's beauty was whispered about even in distant towns. Her skin was dark and smooth as polished ebony. Her hair, thick and braided with bright beads, shone under the morning sun. But it wasn't only her beauty that captured the hearts of many. Abini was kind. She helped the old comforted children and was always seen by her mother's side, learning the sacred arts of healing with leaves, roots, and ancient prayers. Abini's mother, Igei Moriniki, was a widow. The people called her the Mother of Healing. She tended to the sick and knew the secret songs that called the rain. Yet, behind her gentle smile, Iwai Moriniki carried a great sorrow. Her husband had died mysteriously years ago, and she feared for her daughter every day. But there was one more reason why Abini seemed distant, her eyes always searching the horizon, her heart beating with secret fear. At night, when the moon was round and silver, Abini was no longer just a maiden. She was a shapeshifter. Abini had inherited a curse from the women of her bloodline, one whispered about in forbidden tales. Each night, her body transformed, bones twisting, skin stretching, heart thundering, until she became a leopard, sleek and powerful, queen of the night shadows. Only her mother knew. Together, they guarded the secret with every breath. As the Yam Festival approached, excitement filled Ayatoro. Drums sang, masquerades practiced, and the aroma of roasting yams drifted through the air. It was a time for young men and women to find love, for blessings to be invoked, for the community to come alive. Among the many young men who watched Abini with longing, two stood out. There was Baba Tund, whom everyone called Tunde, a humble, hard-working farmer, known for his gentle spirit and quiet strength. Tunde was orphaned when a wild beast had killed his father, but he had never let sorrow turn his heart bitter. Instead, he worked the land with his mother and younger sister, always smiling, always hopeful. Every morning, Tunde brought the freshest yams to the marketplace, his eyes searching for Abini. He admired her from afar, too shy to speak his heart. Sometimes they exchanged small smiles, and it was in these moments that hope blossomed within him. The second was Adigan, son of the village chief. Adigan was tall, handsome, and proud, with an arrogant swagger that came from always getting what he wanted. He boasted of his riches, and the other young men followed him. He declared openly that he would make Abini his wife, no matter the cost. But Abini had no desire for Adigan's golden gifts or empty flattery. Her heart was drawn quietly to Tunde, the gentle way he helped his mother, the laughter he shared with children, the sadness behind his eyes when he thought no one was watching. Yet Abini dared not let herself love, for who could love a maiden cursed to become a beast? One evening, as the last rays of sunlight painted the sky, Iwaya Moriniki sat with Abini by the fireside. "My daughter," her mother said softly, "your time draws near. The curse grows stronger with each full moon. You must remember, never go near the village when the change comes. The villagers fear what they don't understand. Even a hint of your secret could bring ruin upon us." Abini nodded, heart pounding. The fear was always with her, growing stronger as the festival approached. She longed to be free, to dance and laugh without fear. But every night, the beast inside called her into the forest. That night, as the moon rose full and heavy, Abini slipped away into the shadows. The transformation came swiftly, her body aching, her senses sharpening. Her world turned to scents and sounds only a wild creature could know. She leaped through the forest, her fur brushing the dewy grass, her muscles alive with primal energy. She ran to the riverbank, the moon's reflection trembling in the water. There, for a while, she was free, until a scent caught her attention. Cattle. Something primal took over, and though she fought it, her hunger drove her near the village pens. By morning, one of the chief's prized cows was dead, its body found mangled beside the river. Panic seized Ayatoro. Villagers gathered at the chief's compound, their voices rising in fear. Who would dare attack the chief's cattle on the eve of the festival? Some whispered of witches, others of angry forest spirits. The village priest was called. Sacrifices were offered at the river, but the sense of dread only grew. Adigan seized the moment, fanning the flames. "There is evil among us," he shouted. "Someone hides a darkness in their heart. We must uncover the witch before more of us suffer." The old women whispered. Children cried. Even the bravest men looked over their shoulders as night fell. Tunde tried to calm the crowd, insisting that it must be a wild animal from the forest. But his words were drowned out by the chorus of suspicion. Secretly, Tunde wondered about the strange dreams he'd been having, of a leopard with familiar eyes, watching him from the shadows. As fear stalked the village, Tunde found himself drawn ever more to Abini. One evening, he gathered his courage and waited for her by the river, a place where the water spoke in soft murmurs and the wind rustled the reeds. "Abini," he said, his voice trembling, "there is something I must tell you. When I see you, I see hope. I see kindness. I want to know your heart, even if it brings me pain." Abini looked away, her heart in turmoil. How could she risk his life for love? "Tunde, you are good," she replied softly. "But there are things about me you do not understand. My life is shadowed by sorrow. It is better for you if we remain only friends." But Tunde refused to leave. Instead, he told her of his father, of the night he was killed by a beast. "I am not afraid of shadows," he said quietly. "I know what it is to lose, but I also know what it is to love." Their hands touched. For a moment the world faded, and only their hearts spoke. Rejection stung Adigan's pride like a wasp. He could not bear the thought of Abini choosing a poor farmer over him. He stormed to his father, demanding that the elders allow him to marry Abini. The chief hesitated, but Adigan would not be denied. When threats and persuasion failed, Adigan turned to darker paths. Deep in the forest, he sought out a babalawo, a diviner said to know the secrets of the other world. Adigan brought gifts of oil, kola nuts, and gold. The babalawo, with his white chalked face and cowrie-studded staff, listened in silence. Finally, he gave Adigan a charm, a dark, knotted bundle wrapped in red cloth. "With this," the babalawo croaked, "you will see the evil that walks at night. But be warned, what you discover may destroy you." Adigan left, clutching the charm, his mind already plotting. The next evening, Adigan announced that he would lead a night watch. He and his loyal friends set traps around the cattle pen, sprinkling the babalawo's charms along the boundary. They waited, armed with machetes, eyes fixed on the moonlit shadows. Abini, restless and frightened by the pull of the curse, tried to resist the change. But the beast within her would not be denied. Under the moon's cold gaze, she slipped from her mother's hut and vanished into the night. As a leopard, Abini prowled the edges of the village, her senses overwhelmed by the scent of cattle and the dangerous tang of magic. She avoided the cattle pens, drawn instead by the river, but a sudden pain shot through her leg, a trap. Metal teeth clamped tight around her paw. She roared in pain, thrashing as the villagers rushed out with torches and spears. In the chaos, Iwaya Moriniki ran to her daughter's aid, chanting prayers, desperate to break the spell. Unknown to them, Tunde, who had suspected something, had followed quietly, his heart pounding. From the shadows, he saw the leopard, a flash of gold in its eyes, and knew, with a certainty that broke his heart, who it was. As the villagers approached, the river suddenly surged, sending a cool mist into the air. In the confusion, Iwaya Morinike managed to unlock the trap, dragging her wounded daughter into the forest, guided by Tunde. They hid deep within the sacred grove, where only the oldest trees stood, and the river's song was loudest. There, as dawn broke, the magic faded, and Abini collapsed, bloodied and broken, back into her human form. Tunde stared in shock and awe. The truth was undeniable. Iya, Morenike, her face streaked with tears, turned to him. "She is my daughter, Tunde," she whispered. "We carry a curse. Many generations ago, our ancestor, a great queen, defied the river goddess, and she cursed all her daughters. Each first daughter is bound to the form of a leopard until the day true love sees her as she is, beast and human, and does not turn away." Tunde, weeping, knelt by Abini's side. "I see you, Abini," he said. "All of you, I love you." But Abini, ashamed, begged him to go. "You saw what I am," she wept. "There can be no life for us. If the village finds out, they will burn us both." Tunde refused to leave. "We will find a way," he promised. "Love is stronger than fear." Adigan, enraged that his plan had failed, saw Iya Morniki's desperate rescue and guessed the truth. The next day, he confronted her in secret. "If you do not give your daughter to me as wife," he threatened, "I will reveal to the village what she is. They will not spare a witch. You will lose her forever." Iya. Morniki's heart nearly stopped. She ran to Abini and told her everything. Abini, horrified, realized she had no choice. To save her mother and the boy she loved, she agreed to Adigan's terrible terms. That evening, as the festival fires blazed and drums thundered, Adigan announced that Abini would marry him. The village erupted in surprise, but none dared question the chief's son. Tunde, heartbroken, watched as his dreams turned to ashes. But his love for Abini would not let him rest. On the eve of the wedding, Abini sat by the river, her tears mingling with the flowing water. Tunde found her there, his face shadowed by sorrow and determination. "I will not let you go," he said. "If I must die, let it be for love." Before the entire village, Tunde strode to the chief's compound, his voice ringing out. "I love Abini," he declared. "She is no witch. She is flesh and blood, heart and soul. If there is evil here, let it fall upon me, for I will never let her face it alone." The villagers murmured, fear and curiosity battling in their eyes. Suddenly, the river surged, higher and louder than ever before. The sky turned dark. The river goddess, long forgotten, rose in a shimmering column of water, her voice echoing like thunder. "Enough!" she cried. "For too long my curse has chained the innocent. Adigan, your greed and deceit have brought pain to this village. I reveal your crimes, your jealousy, your darkness, your pact with the Babalawo. And as for you, Abini, you have carried your burden with courage and kindness." She turned to the villagers, her eyes burning with ancient fire. "The curse can only be broken by a love that embraces darkness as well as light. Only a heart that does not run from the beast, but loves it, can set Abini free." As the villagers trembled, Abini felt the change begin. Her skin rippled, bones cracked, and before them all, she became the great leopard. Golden eyes full of sorrow, fur glistening with river water. The villagers screamed, some dropping to their knees, others running for their lives. Adigan grabbed a spear, rushing at Abini. Tunde threw himself in the way, arms wide. "I love her," he shouted. "Beast or woman, she is my heart. I would rather die than see her hurt." The river goddess raised her hands. Water surged, snatching Adigan, dragging him screaming into the depths. Tunde approached the leopard, unafraid, tears streaming down his face. He knelt, placing a trembling hand on her fur. "Abini," he whispered, "come home to me." The moon shone bright, and before the eyes of the villagers, the leopard shimmered and faded. There stood Abini, whole and human, free at last. A great silence fell upon Ayatoro. The chief, broken by his son's fate, knelt before Iya Moreniki, begging forgiveness. The villagers, shamed by their fear, welcomed Abini back with open arms. Tunde and Abini were married beside the river, with the village singing and the river goddess watching in silent blessing. Eya. Morenike, her heart at peace for the first time in years, embraced her daughter and new son. From that day on, the curse was lifted. Abini and Tunde lived together in love and harmony, teaching their children to face the world's shadows with courage and compassion. And so, the river sang once more, not with sorrow, but with joy. The story of Abini teaches us that love is strongest when it does not run from the darkness, but embraces it. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to love, even when it is hard, even when it means sacrifice. Let us remember, the greatest magic is forgiveness. The bravest heart is the one that loves completely, beast and all. The end. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Until next time, may your dreams be full of light and your heart full of courage.